Hi, so my name's Chrissy, and for the video that we have to post, I'm going to be talking about my reactions and what I thought about the book. Mainly, it was kind of funny when I started reading it because I kind of had an idea about the things that are going on with the NSA and how, like, people have stated multiple times that the NSA actually is kind of against us in a way and that we're not actually being protected. We're being searched through all of our private information. I've always been taught as a child that whatever you post online is for everybody to see, and so I've never thought of the internet as a private source, but as something that sometimes maybe I'm not expecting everybody to be able to watch, but definitely when if I'm applying to jobs or if I'm doing something like that, I've always known that you shouldn't expect companies to not be able to find your information, even if you put it on private. Um, what was interesting is that my mom works for Verizon Wireless. I mean, before it was called Verizon, before that it was called AirTouch. But she worked for Verizon, so when I saw the whole thing about the prison program, that kind of shocked me that they had been giving information to the NSA about um, phone calls and stuff like that from their company and from their clients, which was pretty crazy. Um, Discussing about the relationship between democracy and privacy, I think that is kind of a contradiction because you expect as a citizen to have privacy being in a democratic society, but yet you're not getting that true privacy, which is kind of shocking at one point. But at the same time, I don't really think that you should ever uh, expect yourself to be completely private in the world that we live in today. I mean, maybe when we were younger and we had the situations of where my parents were, where the phone call away was the only way that you could contact people instead of just messaging them or DMing them or whatever you did now, but before it was just phone calls, which even if the NSA was tapping into phone calls, that's pretty crazy and that's a violation of having a privacy and not getting your own real true democracy. So I think in the end it's a contradiction between the relationship between the two. Um I in my opinion, I found that the author's main premise was located in about chapter 4 and 5, where he's kind of discussing the ways that we expect to have our own privacy, yet it's kind of how the government wants our privacy to be. So, like from one of the quotes he had said, the real measure of freedom offered by a government is how it treats those who disagree with it, not how it treats those who are loyal to it. So, even though you may be like a perfect person, they're still going to track your stuff. They're still going to find things about you that they want to know, which is kind of crazy because they go around saying that they're trying to protect us from terrorists and other things like that, which I have seen information that is true where yes, they do have people where they can go and find them that are terrorists and they do are able to put them on like the no-fly zone and etc like that, but it's pretty crazy that you expect as like a citizen to be able to just um be protected, but you're actually not. And he goes on to say that the government knows more about its citizens and the people know less about the government. So privacy is important to all and is a freedom people don't want to get taken away from them, which I thought was like a really good um, premise that he had. Another one that he had was from chapter 5, where I felt that he discussed the ways that he had said, let me find it, that the job is for the political media to monitor and keep in check the abuse of the power by government. In this role, the media is known as the fourth estate. And so, like, when they're discussing that issue, I think he's describing how basically we are supposed to be protected by our own government, yet the government's not protecting us at all. And in a way, I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't. But at the same time, I think that I just feel like the government has a little too much power, and that let me find the last one. Um, that basically by having Snowden go and release that information that he did, it kind of showed that the government isn't really protecting us as a whole, and that we should realize and take a step back and try to protect ourselves instead. So we do have the rights in our own way to have our privacy protected, yet we don't know all those rights, and they do say that they're there to protect us, but they're kind of not protecting us at all. Um, that's what I got out of it, and I agree with it. I think that from chapter 4 to chapter 5, he kind of just starts listing all the things that are kind of wrong with our government and how the NSA is kind of abusing its power and that we should be able to fight back. And I think a lot of people don't think that we do have the rights to fight back and that we could violate something if we do. But I've always seen it as a way that if you do know how to work through the system and you do realize, like, hey, they aren't allowed to go and secretly tap through my information without me knowing. I mean, of course, if you get background checks and stuff like that, that's always normal, but you know what I'm saying. And finally, I thought that the way that the media outlets freaked out about the information that Snowden leaked was kind of contradicting as well, because it was funny that they're sitting there giving our information to the NSA, yet now they're going to put this as if, oh, we had no idea about it, because when they had talked about it in the book, they had said that they went to them and said, like, hey, do you know that this is going on? Like, you guys are giving citizens' information away to the NSA, which is completely, like, wrong, and they completely denied it and said stuff like that. But then when Snowden released his information, they're all freaking out and, like, trying to agree with it and say, like, oh, look what the NSA is doing. So it's just kind of like a double contradiction from what I got from it. And it kind of just shocks me how, like, of course they don't want to go and sit there and then, because I think I remember this issue. I was littler, so I don't remember, like, completely reading all those, like, articles. But I remember going and seeing them on Facebook and how, like, everybody was freaking out that Facebook could see all of our stuff, which at one point I agree that you're going on a social media site and you're putting your information in there. And you should realize that, I mean, I personally know if I want to find somebody's phone number, if somebody has prank called me or, like, texted me and I don't know their name, you can literally go and type in their phone number onto Facebook and their name will come up sometimes. Like, if you put your information out there, it is out there to be seen. So, I guess that's just my final statement, and I really enjoyed this class and it was really fun, so thank you. Bye.